Welcome to the Z Zone, where random facts rule everything from mind-blowing history to science, tech, pop culture, and the stuff you never knew you needed to know. If it's strange, surprising, or straight up unbelievable, it lives right here. Fast facts, big surprises. This is Z Zone, where curiosity never clocks out. Welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of Everything According to Z. So, house rules: like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss these funny facts, these random crazy facts. You need to be in the know of these facts. Why? The same reason your teachers told you to learn the equations for circle and perimeter and the Pythagorean theorem and all that, just to learn something. So, here we go. We're going to learn something tonight. We're going to learn some things about some things. So let's dive right into the show. Everything according to Z. Okay. Your friendly sloth actually has survival skills. What survival skills does a sloth has? We're going to find out. I'm going to tell you what survival skills the sloth has. They're a secret, but I'm going to reveal the sloth's survival secret. So, sloths can hold their breath underwater up to 40 minutes. So, yes, a sloth can swim and actually hold his breath underwater up to 40 minutes, which is actually longer than a dolphin can hold its breath underwater. Well, what's so survival about that? Well, another part of that survival secret is that because they digest so slowly, they actually have to breathe out their farts as gas reabsorbs into their bloodstream. So they got their own little yes, you heard me correctly. They breathe out their farts as the gas reabsorbs into their bloodstreams. So pretty much they just got an ongoing cycle of air coming in for 40 minutes. But they move so slow, but it's amazing how the body works, even for animals. Okay, here's another one. This one had me laughing because I really want to know who sat there and did this one, and like, why would you do this? But rats can laugh. Yes, you heard me. Rats can laugh. Well, how we know a rat can laugh? Well, rats are ticklish. Go figure. Somebody actually tickled the rat and recorded the laugh and found out that the laugh is high pitched and the frequency is inaudible to humans. Well, then how do we know they can laugh if it's inaudible to humans? I mean, but first of all, wait, who's sitting there tickling rats? And why are you tickling? Like, why are you tickling rats? I will never understand that one at all. But yes, rats are ticklish. They can laugh, and it's so loud and so high pitch that the frequency is inaudible to humans. Go figure. Okay. Now, I love me a good bowl of cereal, but food always has this weird thing that it's made for, but we don't understand where it comes from and all that stuff. But today, we're going to learn about your Kellogg's flakes. The good old fashioned, I was going to say frosted flakes, but no, you can't say that because it's actually the regular Kellogg plain flakes. So, the cornflake, the Kellogg's cornflake. So, the Kellogg cornflake was actually an anti-desire cereal. What does it mean by anti? What does it mean? Cornflakes was originally invented by John Harvey Kellogg to be part of a plain diet meant to suppress sexual impulses. Yes, the cornflake was meant to suppress sexual impulses. So, why did John Harvey make this cereal for that reason? Who knows? It's funny. So, women, if your man's going too much for you and he's wearing you out, give him Kellogg cornflakes. It should suppress the sexual impulses. There you have it. Okay, now back to the human body and the brain. Again, we love how powerful the brain is. So, here's another interesting tidbit about how powerful this brain really is. The brain has selective sight. Well, the brain can't see. Well, hear me out. Hear me out before you go all crazy on me. The brain's selective sight is with your nose. Okay. Well, what do you mean? Your nose is always in your field of vision, but your brain selectively ignores it so you don't go crazy all day looking at your nose. So, like, I see my if I look down, I can see my nose. But if I look straight ahead, you really don't see your nose. It's there, but the brain has that power to selectively Photoshop it out while you look straight ahead. Can you imagine walk around all day like, oh, I see my nose. Oh, walk around, oh, hey, there it is. But the brain is powerful, the human body is powerful, and there you go. The brain just photoshops your nose out the way, so you're not going crazy all day. Okay, now this one again, everything has an origin. We don't understand where it comes from or what, but here's another one. The sandwich gamble. Yes, you heard me correctly. The sandwich gamble. So let's dive into this one. The sandwich was named after John Montague, the fourth Earl of Sandwich. So he's not the Duke of Sandwiches, he's the Earl of Sandwich, Lord Sandwich. So he John Montague was a very addictive gambler. So much that it was reported that he would go without eating. So instead of getting up and leaving the table to go eat, he said, "Listen, take some meat, put it between two bread pieces of bread, and bring it to me. I give you one hand." Hence, your sandwich was born. So he went and leave the table, just give me some meat between two pieces of bread, and I can eat one hand while gambling. There you have it. The sandwich gamble. John Montague. Lord Sandwich. Okay. Now, we all know that there's some foods that are pricey and some foods that are not. And we know the famous surf and turf and lobster and shrimp was that, can be pretty pricey. Well, did you know? You probably did, but hear me out on this one right here. Let's discuss the lobster. Okay. Lobster's greedy past. Yes, the lobster had a greedy past. In colonial America, lobsters were so plentiful it was considered the cockroach of the sea. I mean, it kind of looks like one, not really. Don't look like one, but I can understand why I would say that. But it was fed to prisoners and servants, and having lobster shells in your yard was a major sign of being poor. So, lobsters were so plentiful that they gave it to prisoners and servants. But now we pay an arm and a leg for a lobster. But if you're calling the lobster the cockroach of the sea, there should be plentiful of lobsters because roaches just kind of multiply all the time. They're always there. You can find roaches everywhere. Like, roaches always are there. So the lobster should be there as well. It's plentiful. But if you have the shells in your yard, you're considered poor because they fed. Hey, this ain't my fact. I just discovered it. I found it interesting, so I'm sharing it with y'all. But yep, that is the lobster's greedy pass. Okay, now we all love a good Pez dispenser, but do you understand what the Pez dispenser was actually made for in its original use? Well, let me tell you. Let Z tell you what the candy Pez dispenser was originally used for, because you know everything always had a beginning. So before the Pez was a toy, the Pez was marketed as an anti-smoking aid. Yes, they used the Pez dispenser to be a marketing ad for anti-smoking. The original dispensers were designed to look like cigarette lighters, hence the popping of the head cigarette lighter. And the peppermint brick inside was to help smokers to have that pepperminty taste of a cigarette, I guess. I don't smoke cigarettes, so I don't know. So therefore, I don't know what cigarettes supposed to, menthol. I don't know menthol, whatever. But yes, the peppermint brick inside was to give the smoker the feel it was smoking. Hit the light, little boop, boop. So yeah, that's what the Pez was made for originally. Ad for anti-smoking. Now it's a toy. You just go get one and just pop candy in and be done with it. Okay, let's keep going. Here we go. Picture this. The lantern disaster of 1184. Not the Great Fire of Chicago. No, no, no. Where the cow kicked over a lantern in the barn, half Chicago burnt down. No. This is 1184. Okay. Well, what's so special about that? Okay, well, let me tell you about the lantern disaster of 1184. During a royal assembly in Erfurt, Germany, the wooden floor collapsed under the weight of dozens of nobles. They plummeted into the basement area pit below, and about 60 high-ranking officials tragically drowned in liquid excrement. Okay. Well, it was too heavy. The floor was weak. The floor fell in, and they all drowned it in the liquid excrement of the lantern oil. Hey, this ain't my story. I'm just passing it along to you. So, in other words, make sure your floors are strong enough to have parties, or else you're going to have this right here happen to you. Check your floor joists, please. Okay, here you go. This is a good one. For some reason or another, time moves faster at the top of a building than it does at the bottom of a building. The tiny effect from relativity. So, I wonder, is that if you get so high up, or is it just like, oh well, time's quicker on floors? Like, how tall does this building have to be in order for time to feel like it's going faster, higher than it is going on lower? I mean, on lower floors. I don't know where this measurements of buildings come in at, or what floor it starts to feel this way. But as again, I'm just giving it to you straight. Time appears to move faster the higher you go up in the building than does the lower you are. Okay, so in closing, here's two more for you. Empty space is not truly empty. It's full of fluctuating energy. So, because you have space is usually termed for an empty area. Like, oh, there's space over here. So, if you say there's space over here, that means it means it's empty, and you're putting something there. So, why is it called space if it's not empty, but it's fluctuating, full of energy? Help me understand that. Please help me. Like, I don't get that. The English language is stupid. You're just gonna, oh, space means it's empty, but it's not empty. It's full of fluctuating energy. So therefore, why is it called space? Okay, last one for the show. The vicious diamond necklace. Yes, you heard me right. It's called the vicious diamond necklace. Marie Antoinette was once the victim of a massive scam known as the diamond necklace affair. the vicious diamond hot necklace, diamond necklace affair. That's two different titles, but let's dive before let's go further into it. A social climber forged the queen's signature to buy a necklace worth millions, leading to the public to believe the queen was spending a fortune while the country starved, even though she had never actually touched the necklace. Okay. So, in short, Marie Antoinette had a massive scam. Her necklace wasn't real. They forged signature. They bought a necklace. The town got mad. We can't eat, but you're buying necklaces that cost all this money. Hey, that's pretty vicious. That's pretty vicious. That's just downright out dirty, if you ask me. But hey, you didn't ask me. I'm just giving you facts. Thank you for coming out. That is another episode of Everything According to Z. I'll catch you next week. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I'll see y'all next week. Take care.